Alright, hey, hi, hello. How's it going, guys? My name is ZetaRayZod, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, before I begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell line so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. So, we just came into chapter 3, we went to see the Chief Justice in the UK, and he told us that, you know what, he might let us become a lawyer in Kazuma's stead. But in return, we will have to defend this guy right now. Not this guy. This guy's the prosecutor. We have to defend this guy because there was no one else that is willing to defend him, or there's no one else to defend him. And as we're progressing along, the prosecutor Van Zieks just called a couple of witnesses who apparently saw the defendant kill the the victim. Like, the victim's the right word, right? The victim. So here we go. You have to forgive me, it's been a little while, so I might have forgotten the voices, but I think I'll get back to it. Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name's First. Lady First. Lady First. He's a gentleman. I make hats for gents. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Quite right. Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Here we go. Tear them apart. What the witnesses saw. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Oh dear, that's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped by the bus, and then I saw it too. Oh, damn, that's pretty clear cut. Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Unambiguous? Oh, right. Unambiguous. Ambiguous is like, you know, general. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may. Yes, counsel? Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. Fair point. So what's going on, peeps? How quaint. I read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus? Have I? Well, no. We only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. How? What do you mean? The actual scene? How? The carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yeah? The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place in here today, in this very building. Oh, is here today, in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff? Bring forth the stricken omnibus. How the frick did you bring that in here? So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by two horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architectures and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Ah, skylight. Oh. The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. I thought they were all alone on the omnibus. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Okay. I mean, from what's going on right now, everything seems to point towards, shit, what's his name again? Willy Wonka being, guilty. That makes perfect sense. Well, counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. Omnibus has entered the court record. 8-seater omnibus of seated at the crime. Passengers were both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night. Okay. I can't believe it. Entire crime scene enters evidence? Yeah, fingerprints simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here. Let us continue with the proceedings then. Cross-examination, counsel. Pray don't expect this nippany stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Alright. My first cross-examination in a British court. Focus. Focus! Alright. Cross-examine everything. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Oh, yes, that's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact. Okay. Just checking to see if anyone's looking a bit sus. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. No, not all traveling the same parts of the bus, of course, to the no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? No one alighted, for example? What's alighted? You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none. What's this guy's name? Just Beppo? Beppo! Just Beppo. Bruce Fairplay, lady first. So nobody fled the scene of the crime then? Shit, I should have looked around, huh? Actually, will they tell me? I have to, like above the icons, will there be like a question mark or something like that? The boss is just running every evening, the last bus of the day. Poor guy, but I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only them making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spend that much at the pub on the way home just to try to warm up again. If it's so cold, why would they be at the top? I would think they'll be more comfortable being inside the carriage, right? Interesting. The victim and the man accused of killing him was sat next to each other inside the bus. Press. And you saw them through the skylight and the roof of the carriage. That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. You were sitting at the front, you're sitting at the back. Hold up. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. This is kind of sus too, actually. The two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. Hold up. So was he sitting in front or was he sitting at the back? If he was sitting in front, why would he turn around? All of a sudden, and just like at that moment, see him get stabbed. And if at the same token, if he was sitting at the back... how do I go up? If he was sitting at the back, there was no way he would have been able to see them. Actually, I'm not sure if he was sitting at the front or the back. Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Oh, nice. I didn't notice that, but there it is. That's a little Easter egg for the OG. Okay, hold on. What I want to check is that, did it tell me? Damn, I can't, with this picture, I can't tell if he was sitting in the front or the back. So it is possible that the witnesses were sitting at the back and they were looking down and like both of them were sitting over there. I thought that they were sitting at the back here. If they were, then it would not be possible for them to see. But if they were sitting here, then yeah, I think it is. But wait, let's have a look at this place first. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yeah, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us. Okay. Anything else I can see? Just the window? That's all I can... Oh, I see blood in it. Can I have a look in it? Oh, wait. There's blood there. Ah, damn it. The controls are so difficult. Yeah. The guy was sitting at the front. So, because I can see the blood there. So yeah, it's possible. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? Mr. McGilded is a gentleman of a rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There's no room for doubt here. Ah, I really wish there was a... And out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Press, press, press! You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Didn't I already testify to that? Oh, fair dinkum, hardworking city bankers not considered trustworthy these days. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. Real guy's back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's... Damn, I can't remember the voice I gave him. My lord! Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. You can't do that. I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Oh boy, oh boy. There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. Ah. Shit, I can't remember the voices I gave him. That's precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. Oh boy, they're all voting guilty. Is this how the British court does it? Boom! What if it flies in the judge's face? What the? What's happening here? A special book.
Let me see. Yeah, it seems that how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yeah. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side,
oh wait. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Now I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well.
The court acknowledge just a change in the jury's stance. I feel like this is biased, lah. I think... I mean, it's a game, of course, but... You know, as the jury, you should vote at the end once you've heard everything. Because now you're just making the defendant more nervous or whatever. Or like the defender and the prosecutor, like it's gonna be biased already. I feel like this is not fair.
Counsel for the defense, please continue your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare. Was that supposed to happen or was it because I was pressing so much?
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it.
Yes. He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little Ted sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see. So I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out of his belly, that huge great knife. A grim sight indeed.
Oh, that didn't help me at all. The jury looks like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
It appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGill is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
I don't think I have evidence. Mr. First.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief, yes, that's it. That's the very one, sir.
Is that? Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
That is a blade of considerable size, counsel.
It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Please, no. M for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilded, possibly? Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. Igiari. He's nervous, but there are M's everywhere. Like, yes, like in Mason. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaster to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Ugh. It could be a W, you know.
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
Murder weapon.
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
She's gonna vote guilty, isn't she?
Juror number 2, go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman. And a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait, what are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish.
No.
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
She's gonna vote guilty too.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts.
Oh boy.
As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion.
She voted guilty too. Not again.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed their guilty verdict.
That's the majority. Oh wait, they all have to agree. Sorry.
There are only 2 left.
I've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, it just makes the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
I suppose you just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly.
We mustn't give up hope they will uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But...
Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witness's statement again. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus and then I saw it too. What exactly did you see? Well, so the passenger sir collapsed on the floor. He was. No, he wasn't. He was in his seat. And by the passenger, obviously, you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. And then the other passenger had the knife in his hand, like this. He was holding it in his right hand. He can't be. He would have been sitting on the right. Left hand. Ooh, holes, Beppo, holes. What? Wait. Actually, wait just a minute. No. Hold up. Where the hell were you sitting? No way. You were sitting up here. How would you even see it? Suspicious. My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, you're number 5? Do I take it that you too? As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the his carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though. I said to myself. But I've heard enough now. All the horses bolted us. No, please keep it open. Mine just a little long. G up now, Silver Blues finishes inside. Because he drinks, I giving him a little slur. Oh boy. Grandma, hold on, Grandma. Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild. I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. Kind sir. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agreed to condemn this man. Grandma, hold on, please. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear? What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get out of my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. A Gilded Park, it's called. A gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, maybe goes to McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books.
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know what kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of a man is he? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one of the very darkest of souls. What?
Stone the crows.
McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He's a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? That's kind of what I thought too. What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? Not saying that. The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But at the same token, if he was rich enough to buy the city of London, why would he do it himself? The very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date of his debts.
Good gracious!
The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house, he had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded. I don't believe it.
If I might add something briefly, Miss Susato? You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded, but where's the evidence to support your claim?
The bottle has the Green Reaper on it. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Aha, there it is! Lord Van Zeek's hallowed chalice.
can this be considered acceptable? But I find myself in an unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
Oh, as judicial assistant to the defense, I'm simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh,
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
a marvelous toast, Counselor. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
Who owed 20 guineas? Wow. 20 gold pieces.
Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
Excuse me? I'll be the judge of that. Okay, wait. Stab. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentries personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholm's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find. Clickety-click. Let's see.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness.
What is it?
Look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar. It's the guy in the middle.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying this very moment.
Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course. But this could be very useful information.
That's true. Maybe Bruce Fairplay's just saying shit, you know? How about, oh, it's just the same thing? Okay. Murder weapon. I can't find anything out of place. M. It could be W. An ornate M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGillet's initial.
And it's beautifully gilded, too. Must be very valuable, I should think.
Oh,
What is it?
look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything.
W?
Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
I'm afraid I don't know at all. What I'm sure of is that this is an M.
Oh, well, that idea is quickly quashed. Oh man. Nothing else? Okay. Let's look at all the evidence. There's blood sticking here. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGildet right-handed?
Yeah, I believe so. He was toying with coining his right hand a little earlier.
Huh. Pity. If only he'd been left-handed.
I think blood in either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
Right-handed? Yep. Okay. Let's look at this. Look at his photograph. He's missing a button. I'm not sure if that's going to be handy later on. Crooked hat. Internal hemorrhaging. Okay. Stab once in the abdomen. Okay. Alright. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little part, too. What a scoundrel. Oh, come on. Still. Maybe it's all for the best. Ah, but wait a minute! Let's think about this a little more before... I don't stand for nonsense. I don't stand for nonsense. Boom. That was it. Last year's decision.
According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the proceeding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
The final verdict. It's over then.
Oh. There's a footnote, though.
A footnote.
However, the defense.
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement of this case. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections? Mrs. Sato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yeah?
You're in the middle of saying something before. A footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law.
However, the defense...
What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
Summation? Examination? Summation examination. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected?
Ah,
Judging from the binding, I would say that the book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text of British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
oh.
What even is it, Mrs. Sato? This so-called summation examination?
Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese.
Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leading and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions? Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure becomes something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Miss Naruhodo?
Summation examination. A last possible option. Do you assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Assert. The defense wishes to assert its right to summation examination, my lord. London is the capital city of the city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. The defense petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Huh? Well, I'm not, there's no mention of this in the letter I've received, you see. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached a decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decision and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on a spot.
It's the most regular. No mention is made of this before.
I generally hold with all this justifying lack. The type seems to have thrown the jurors off.
Seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then. Summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. You might be the opportunity you've been looking for to turn this trial around. Alright, you know what? I think I'll leave this episode here. I'm cutting it a little bit short, but that's okay. I think that's a good segue to leave it at a cliffhanger. I didn't know about the summation examination, but okay. I think that's a good opportunity to find out why they've actually voted against. Because, I mean, before, what Bebo said, I already have, a couple of things I can cross-examine on that. I'm not sure why I didn't get the opportunity to, but apparently that's how the British courts work at this time, so whatever. But we'll see what happens in the next episode. In any case, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe, and get that bell on so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. As always, be safe, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace!